Episode 699 of Luka's Tigers and Bronze. We're getting to that 700 mark, and it's exciting times. I feel like we're kind of in our sophomore season. I'm feeling good about the show. We're hitting record numbers, tons of content. People love the guests we have on. They love when we do just the two of us. I'm just grateful.
Castles in the sky, just the two of us.
And today will be the
You and
PWCC episode.
All right, but you got to start off. This dude, he geeked out in the last PWCC auction. And let me just give like a 30-second. You don't have to show cards. You don't have to talk about the cards you're buying. But it's a funny thing. It's almost like a transformation. And the times are a changing. And because of that, you're able to basically have some fun. I don't remember the last time I've seen you smile as much about cardboard as you have this week. And I think a lot of that has to do with the current market conditions. And if you're in this for more than the next month or 2 months or 6 months or a year, you can find some really cool stuff. And how many cards did you buy in the PWCC auction the last week's auction? Oh, that's a stack right there. Oh, it's another stack. You got quite a few.
Like 60.
So we just played a little game before the show where Andrew showed me some of these cards, and I'm like, put them on YouTube, put them on the show, like let's talk about them on the show. And he's like, how much did I pay for this Shaq rookie PSA? I'm like, $80. He's like,
what's
18.
happening?
What's happening with what? Everything's fine on my end. So they pay $8.
How much? Back.
He says, well, how about this LeBron gold medallion? It's like a cool LeBron dunking the ball gold medallion. I'm like, I don't know, $100. He's like, $25. I'm like, and he's having a blast. He's like, look at these cards I got. I got this Ray Allen. Look, here it is. Look at that. That's a cool card. I don't even think I've ever seen that card before. Gold medallion. LeBron.
I love Fleer Ultra. Just like
yes, you're an Ultra guy. You love Fleer Ultra. That's your favorite Kobe. Look at that. What is that? Also gold?
This was just the base one.
That's nice. Look at that card. Shiny Ultra Michael Jordan. I mean, look how much fun you're having. You're like, hey, like a kid in a candy shop. And you're like, I spent a couple $100. I got a stack of Jordans, Kobe's, LeBrons. Like, how do you go wrong? It's pretty awesome.
I think a part of it is like the gamesmanship of the auctions. That's fun too, right? Like, I've been checking now all week for next week's auctions, trying to play around with like what I realized is I'm at like a 1993 and on type of guy. Like, I do like the vintage. I have the Clemente 61. And I'll add
where I buy cards before 1893. You buy after 1993. You're like, what the heck is Wildfire Schulte?
What's cool about that is after 1993, the pops go up, right? So we're all chasing, like, here's a Hakeem 1993 Finest Refractor.
Look at that.
In the 9, 5, or 10. Like, this is a huge card. But what's cool in a market like this is when people need liquidity, they typically sell their lower end stuff first, right? They're going to hold the really nice stuff and they're going to liquidate their $1,000, $500, $100 cards. And that's what I'm seeing on the market, whether that's on PWCC or other places. But what's cool about PWCC is they have the most amount of cards. Like, I would say just the auction. They have so many different cards, so many different opportunities. And as a result, there's some cards that end higher than comps, but there's also cards that end lower than comps, and it gives you an opportunity to, like last week, I know this is a base card, which kind of fell out of flavor, but this is a Shaq rookie. This was a $100 card at its peak. I got it for $19, and what's cool with PWCC is you don't pay any taxes if you have a vault, and you don't pay shipping, and as soon as you pay, it gets moved to your account instantly. So I've been having so much fun with the weekly auctions. I'm sure you guys do it with the Premier, but there's good opportunities. Here's another, just a Jordan Ultra Row 1, and it's a PSA 7. And I think as a result of being a PSA 7, it ended at $28.
Look how shiny that is.
Stop saying shiny.
They're also shiny. I mean, you like shiny cards, man. I'm not a big shiny, but you like shiny. No, you never saw Moana? Shiny.
Moana is Kobe's favorite movie.
I mean, you will find a way to bring it back to Kobe. But that's fine, man. You're a Kobe guy. What else you got there? Kobe. And, if I might say, that's a shiny card. I'm mean, that card is very shiny.
Oh.
No, it's not. Totally.
I guess you're right. These are all shiny cards. But
Every single card is shiny.
This is a PSA 10
wrong.
Magic and Michael PSA 10 card from college. I don't know why I wanted this. This was actually one of the more expensive cards that I bought, but I thought this was kind of cool.
Listen, dude, I love it. I think these cards that you're buying are really cool. And you're having fun, and you're buying the guys you like, and you're not spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this is all purchased on PWCC's weekly auction last week.
Yes, sir.
Pretty nice, man. You're having some fun with this. Just a different way of, of adding some stuff to your collection, and it's a different side to the coin, right? I talked about adding, some high-end LeBron, a Tiger Woods, that kind of stuff, and you're adding, it's the other end of the spectrum. The same thing happens. Just like the high end comes down, the lower end stuff, you're right. People start to trim their collection, and it's like, all right, you know what? Even the biggest Hakeem Olajuwon fan, before they sell their 86 Fleer PSA 10s, and before they sell their high grade, inserts, they'll sell the finest refractor at a BGS 7. They'll get whatever liquidity they can before they sell their best stuff, So I like it, and you're taking advantage of that because that's the kind of card that, somebody building up an Olajuwon PC the next go-round would love to add, So, I mean, I think what you're doing is really, really smart. You want to talk about the PWCC auction tomorrow? I mean, we chat with them. Do you want to talk about hockey? You want to talk about how your Avalanche prediction is just amazing right now? I mean, they're a 2-0 lead in the Western Conference finals, maybe face the Rangers. Rangers are also.
Are they beating the Oilers? Is that who
they're beating
play?
the Oilers 2-0? Yeah, Connor McDavid. They're so far 2 games in handling them. We'll see what happens. But I mean, you nailed it, man. I mean, I asked your prediction, and you said Avalanche. I mean, I don't know any of these teams or these players.
What do you think's going to happen with the PSA 9 market?
I don't know, dude. It's a good question. I think
because
the answer,
PSA 10s demand such a premium, man.
The answer remains to be seen because I think PSA 9s might be saved if we are never again going to see PSA grading below $50. Like if PSA says that's it, the $50, we're grading the cards, we're still getting enough in. This is what we want to do, 50, 100, and on higher, and they want to make their market on cards that are higher than that and the like. Then I think PSA 9s for certain years may have a life to them. But
and just so I want to contextualize it. I'm talking about cards where these aren't out of 10. This is like where there's 100 to 200 to 1,000 of these cards graded.
Yeah, there's enough 10s for people to get them.
Right. And like even if we go to like 2013, there's an awesome set called like Brilliance. There's this awesome set called Red Hot. Just like the 10s versus the 9s, and almost identical cards, right? Especially with those shiny cards that maybe a little pin mark gets it from a 10 to a 9. And I'm just curious, like, will people realize that 9s still have value because it's almost an identical card? Or are they buying the grade? So, and you've been in it. You're a 10 guy.
Buying a grade. Buying a grade. 100% buying a grade.
And that's going to stay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for the overall market. The PSA 10, whether it was their intention or not, became that way to create a market. But you go on Card Ladder and you say, okay, what's a PSA 10 of this card worth? Not every 10 is the same.
Right.
But, with institutions and you name it, when they want to try to do this, you can't have that, that difference. If you want to make this, quote, the industry instead of the hobby, you need that, this is the same or close to the same. You need that homogenization,
Here's a good example.
Yeah.
So this is the 9 of Kobe's rookie.
Mm-hmm. It's a nice one.
It's a nice one. You could tell it's centered, right? Like really nicely.
Recently graded. If it were graded 2 years ago, it would probably be a 10.
So this is not. This is graded at 9 as a $220 card.
Mm-hmm.
And it's $1,000 card.
Yep.
But this is a card that's been graded like 20,000 times.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, like this one looks pretty good. And I'm curious how that will play itself out. Like, will the 9 drag the 10 down? Will the 10 drag the 9 up? Because these have come down quite a bit, Cage.
Yeah.
All Kobe rookies have come down quite a bit. Yeah,
a lot of cards have come down a lot. A lot of cards. Listen, which way do you want to go? You want to start talking about some cards? You want me to tell you some stuff that I looked at in PWCC?
Well, you always have a few cards that you took notice of. I've
Correct.
two. I've
give me your two.
Didier Drogba card.
Oh, Drogba.
Yeah, I have
Didier
a Didier
Drogba.
And a Stadium Club. Here, I'll pull this one up first.
Who's better, Drogba or Pogba? If they get in a fight, Drogba and Pogba in like a cage. You think so? Drogba. Don't show people what you're bidding on.
1998 Stadium Club, Marshall Faulk and Peyton Manning. One, what was cool is I never knew Marshall Faulk played for the Colts. I thought he played for the Rams.
He did play for the Rams, but he played for the Colts first.
With Manning?
Yeah.
Him?
Maybe.
I don't know.
No, I don't think so. So Marshall Faulk's rookie year is 1994. I don't know when he went to the Rams, but Peyton came in what, 98?
No, the Colts took Manning with the number one pick, but he inherits a team that reached the playoffs in 95, 96.
Yeah, I mean, I remember they drafted him Edgerrin James. Edgerrin James came and replaced Faulk. But I don't know whether or not there was 1 year that they played together. I don't know. That's a great question. I mean, they were only 4 years apart. I don't know how long Marshall Faulk stayed on that team.
I think we're all bamboozled, as was I. And when I saw this, at first I thought this was Edgerrin. Then I was like, Faulk? I thought he was on the Rams with Warner. And why? So anyway, this is a cool card.
No, is it 98?
98. 14.
98, they were on the team together. 98, he was still on the Colts. And he had a great year, too. 1,319 yards rushing.
So $14, that's what that is. It's out right now. I think it's a cool card. And
total yards of scrimmage, 2,227. Pretty sick. 2,200 yards of scrimmage. Pretty awesome. Now, this is Drogba who beats up Pogba.
I loved Drogba on Chelsea when I saw this card. I was like, any soccer kind of enthusiast. Drogba wasn't phenomenal for a long time, but he's a guy that like captured the screen. You know, when he played, he would score goals in a timely manner. He was a big presence. And I just think he was one of those guys that he was from Côte d'Ivoire, you know, the Ivory Coast. And he's just like revered. He's like, you don't know why you like him, but you kind of like love him. Yep. Maybe like Dennis Rodman-esque. So I really like Drogba. And that was a cool card to see. I've never seen a Drogba card in general.
And Drogba's going to kick Pogba's ass. That's what you're saying. This is like a new sport we're going to have. Soccer fights. When they're done playing soccer, they should just fight.
I actually think Pogba's a buy. And here's why. Pogba is the classic underachiever. Lots of talent. Hasn't showed up for Man U, but he's being released from Man U. Yeah. And you know how when people play for their money and they're trying to find the next contract?
Yeah. Not to mention, everybody loves Mbappe, but when France plays in actual national tournaments, Pogba shows up.
I don't know if he's serious. I just don't know if he's serious right now.
You know he does. He shows up, man. It's like Schweinsteiger for Germany.
Seconds, wow, 40 minutes, multiplied to 76, divided
Dude, did you like that math? That was
pretty good 43, add 76,
that was good math.
13, 975. You're actually 100% right.
This is what happens, man. Can you do me a favor? Can you go to the home screen and just type the word, my favorite word, my favorite card, at least for this episode. I don't love this, but I've learned one thing. Don't bet against it. You know, bet with the money, right? You know, I try to make fetch happen. Just type this word. What's my favorite type of card?
The Cage Lawyer Alan Gunter card signed by Andrew.
Soon we'll have that. We're gonna have a dual card. Kaboom! Can you type the word kaboom for me?
What do you think about the new Prism kabooms where?
Oh, they're kind of silly. So you're probably on Power Buyer or you're on something else. But you go back to your sort function and just type kaboom. So what you're going to find when you type this in, obviously everybody loves kabooms, is that there are 10. That's correct, 10. Go back to your sort. See, this is good that people are watching folks do this. You might have it sorted. You might have only like Power Buyer ones in. You might be searching something else. But if you put kaboom in, there are 10.
Dude.
Okay, so go to see your sort and filters. Click sort and filters to your left. Click that. Let's see what you have clicked.
I reset the whole thing.
Now scroll down and see if you have Power Buyer. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Go to Power Buyer. No. Card year. Yeah. So I mean, what do you do? How are you spelling kaboom?
Kaboom.
Yeah, that's the right way to spell it. Oof. He's doing good. He's in rare form today, folks. He spelled Kaboom right, at least. Are you in the premier auction or are you in the weekly?
That's fascinating.
Kaboom. He had some sort of, he had some sort of feature in there. So, anyway, guys, there are 10 Kabooms in this current auction here. So, take a look. I know there's a Joe Burrow. I mean, depending on who you like, you'll be able to pull up any of the 10. Kaboom does not happen to be my favorite insert in the world. I got to tell you, Kaboom's not my thing. But Kaboom is the way to go. It's no big deal. So let me go a different way. You ready? There's Kabooms. There they are.
Oh, I know why. I got it. That's why. Exclamation point at the end. Search with the exclamation point.
There we go. Look at all the Kabooms. You gotta love it. So, guys,
2013, for you guys that don't know, is the first year. Is when they did it a little more cartoony. Yeah. Where Curry looks like Sean Livingston.
It's one of my favorites, though. Curry looks like Sean Livingston. I mean, there's some really nice ones, all the way down to like the Anthony Davis Gold, which is currently at $825. The Excalibur ones were from 2016. The Innovation ones from back in 2013. Carmelo Anthony, and then you have ones. Darius Garland's in there as rookie for those Cleveland fans. Nice little Kobe in PSA 10, one of only 12 in PSA 10. Tom Brady. It's just interesting stuff. If Kaboom is your thing, there are no shortage of Kabooms in this week's
Let me
auction.
ask you something. When you have releases like that, it's expected. You have a 2013 to 2021. Is 2013 more valuable, and then the rest of the years are kind of, all in a bunch, or is each year progressively more valuable than the last?
So, I mean, they added gold in, which then made the gold ones the valuable ones and green one of one. So they added in that little parallel, so that kind of, rejuvenated it a bit. It's difficult because you don't know the pop. The base ones, the 2013s, there were not a lot of those. And there's definitely not a lot of them that are high grades. So, but the thing is, what cuts against the supply on it is a lot of people don't like the cartoonish nature of them as well. So interesting, but Kabooms, people love Kabooms. People, if that's your thing, no shortage of Kabooms here. And it's interesting because, used to not see as many Kabooms for sale. And now you got, 10 of them in this week's auction and several in next week's auction. So that's an interesting thing.
What worries me is some of them are not numbered, and they're going for huge dollar amounts, like the Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
rookie one.
You never know how many there are, right?
You never know how many there are. The PSA 10, it's right now on auction for $6,400. Second thing is, Cage, as I'm buying, as I'm kind of dumpster diving for these $20 slabs,
yep.
you kind of find out which players have fallen off maybe a little more than they should.
Yep.
And two guys, I'm kind of capping at $150. I'm saying football, basketball, soccer, in the search functionality. And Anthony Davis and Kawhi feel very oversold to me for what they've accomplished, right? Because you get guys like Bol in this area. You get the guys that don't play, but then you have guys like Anthony Davis that I'm like, dude, the guy still could have like an MVP season next year, and his cards are priced kind of like Mo Bamba's.
Yes, Davis has really fallen off. And if he turns it around and the Lakers do something, adding Zach LaVine, Dame Lillard, throw Kobe, LeBron in there, I mean, like, people could be looking at Anthony Davis as a definite buy. That is a low risk because you're basically buying it for nothing, potentially high reward play. I love it. I think it's a great idea that you had there. And you were able to think of him because you spent some time in the auctions looking at what he's selling for. It wasn't somebody you were looking at, but when you look at his prices, wow, this just could be a gamble. This could be something worth taking a risk on.
Like, you see like Mo Bamba's cards ending, and then you're like, well, Anthony Davis is in the same price range. Kawhi out of 75 PSA 9 is selling for $19.
Yep.
And I'm like, Jordan Poole, what happened? Your computer died. So much for 44 minutes.
Yeah. Well, we've been 20 minutes on the episode, and we had some time before that too. So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, listen, it's crazy stuff. I remember what I was looking at there.
Did you ever play poker? You probably were terrible at poker.
I just go all in the beginning before even looking at my cards and hope. I'm a gambler, man.
Your phone died at the same time.
My phone did not die. My phone is that dead.
No. What's happening?
I don't know. I see you. Hello. Is there like a mosquito around? Dude, can you look up a card for me? You might actually like this. The 2006 Exquisite Kobe Auto. All right. Now, I'm going to talk, guys, for a second. This is one of those weird ones, right? Where we took the Buster about storytelling and being able to tell a story. So, obviously, we all know that Kobe had a lot of autos with Panini, right? He signed a bunch of stuff. So, you don't know which ones to buy. You know what Panini never did? They never had an auto of Kobe on the relic, on the jersey, on the piece. Upper Deck did that. They had creative autographs like this. Not a single Panini one out there where it's on the gear. You see this? You see what we're looking at here? Out of 25, BGS 9, numbered, got an auto grade of a 10.
That's
Kobe.
Incredible.
Isn't this nice? Isn't this a cool card?
Well, I mean, just getting a 10 auto.
A 10 on the jersey, yeah.
It's not easy to not have it like bleed or like fall off. And I know auto grades didn't matter, but it seems like in today's market, they matter a lot.
Yeah. Well, listen, there's another card. But anyway, guys, I want you to take a look at this one because it's not the cheapest card in the world, but it's really, really nice. And it's when there's all these Kobe autos out there and you start to tell stories of why this auto is better than this auto or that auto is better than this auto. Panini had Kobe for, a decade, and this card here, they never tried. They never did anything like that. That's a pretty sick card too, but there's no auto on it. It doesn't matter. That's a really nice card. So what I'm going to have you look at, if you pulled up Card Ladder right now, what do you think the RPA out of 99 for Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow sell for in like PSA 9? What do you think those guys?
90K, I think
they're like $48,000-$50,000 with 10 autos. Oh. Okay, like 48, 50 grand, which is, you think, a bargain, right? So let me ask you something, okay?
I'd buy Nestor Cortez if someone gave me that much money.
Nestor, no. So, but here's the thing, and the guys, this is a common refrain from me, and it's a good conversation starter, right? Do you think Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow have as good a careers as Russell Wilson, 9-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champ, could have won two? You got a base card. You got a base card.
Base slut. It's
you like the base cards, but let's go with me here. Russell Wilson, second highest quarterback rating for active players, right? Most wins in the first 9 seasons. He had like 98 wins in his first 9 seasons. Guy averaged like 11 wins a game in his first 9 seasons. I don't, Herbert and Burrow, they're not going to do that.
11 wins.
MVP.
Season.
No, I mean Super Bowl. He won the Super Bowl. He won 9 Pro Bowls. You name it, the whole 9 yards. So if there was a BGS 9, right? A BGS 9, just like those $48,000, $50,000 Burrow and Herbert. Now those have 10 autos. The BGS 9 with a 9 auto, and this is where we're going to talk about the autos for a second. Russell Wilson, same. National Treasures, RPA 99. How much do you think that's worth? When you got a $50,000 Burrow and Herbert. Why don't you type it into PWCC's weekly auction?
I have a feeling this is going to be that Dame Lillard thing again, but Russ is way more accomplished than Dame.
Russ has actually won, and yet similar pricing. Less than 10%. On-card auto, the auto's a little, you can take a look. If you zoom in on the auto, you know why you got a 9. You can see a little bit of ink bleed on it, but it's the same. RPA out of 99. And guys, this is a fun one, right? Because I love these auctions. I wasn't going to say anything about this because I want to buy it. You know what I mean? Russell Wilson's a Super Bowl champ, 9-time Pro Bowler, and not done, right? One of the favorites betting odds to go, pretty deep this year, with a new team. Who knows what he does this year? But you're looking at somebody who has done a lot in this league, Walter Payton Man of the Year, you name it. And yet his RPA, people are chasing Burrow Herbert. It's $100,000. $48,000 for the BGS 9s with a 10 auto. Here's a BGS 9 of Russell Wilson. The same thing. National Treasure, RPA, 2-color. It's got a nice little jersey piece in it, right? Yes, the auto's a 9.
Very weird jersey because this isn't his jersey color.
I mean, it might have been a white jersey. Seattle wears lots of jerseys. They have home and away. So
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. So. And this one right now is sitting at what was less than 10% of the price. I know it's an auction. It was still a day left. But I had to bring attention to this one because, wow, this was just such a nice card. And when you compare it to, the prices that are being paid for people who haven't done anywhere near as much as what he has done in the league and may never do what he's done in the league, it's, it's an interesting story to tell about the current state of our hobby. No, old man talking about the guys who were instead of the guys who might be.
No, I sent you Russ Wilson before the show. I wanted to buy. This is kind of cool. So I love the Panini Prism autos, but check this out. So in 2012, the base was numbered, Cage. There's 250. This is a cool one. Bid of 900 for the Russell Wilson.
Nice auto.
Gem Mint Plus Prism on-card, not on-card auto, but autographs.
It's a cool card too. Russell Wilson, man. I mean, listen. I don't think Russell Wilson wins the Super Bowl this year. It would be difficult. I haven't started looking at the NFL stuff yet. Plus, you have all kinds of stuff that's going to happen. Let's look at preseason. Let's look how these guys, gel. Let's see who he has out there with him. It's a gauntlet, that AFC West. It'd be difficult for me to pick any of them just because they're going to beat up on each other with Mahomes and Herbert and Russell Wilson all in the same division.
That's going to complement, I think, every quarterback because it's going to bring with it tons of attention and media, and they're going to talk about it.
Televised games, yeah, 100%, right. Definitely. Just like Josh Allen and Mac Jones, and hopefully, Zach Wilson, and now you have Tua throwing to the Cheetah, and all in the same division too. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that in the league. A lot of terrible division play too, like the NFC East, where the Giants actually think they have a chance with Daniel Jones.
People are a little bit sleeping on Jalen Hurts. Not that he's phenomenal, but I think he's going to come in wanting to prove something. Right, in Cage, with quarterbacks, I think it's important to remember, you're not betting on them to win the Super Bowl. You're actually betting them to start well.
Yep. I think you're right.
I think the first 4 to 6 weeks matter more than,
I think you're 100% right. It depends on what you're looking to do, right? If you're looking to buy a young guy that you're trying to catch a wave up on and resell, I think you're 100% right. If you want to go the other end of the spectrum, let me ask you a question. If you're going to buy a dual auto, which maybe you don't even like dual autos, maybe you just want one auto, buy a dual auto. Which would you rather have? Teammates or rivals? Like if I tell you a Michael Jordan dual auto, would you rather have Jordan Pippen or would you rather have Jordan Bird, which was a video game? Jordan versus Bird. That was pretty cool.
I heard Bird signs a lot.
I mean, he didn't sign a little. He's not Kobe. But take a look. Put in Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, 25. Take a look at that card for a second.
I would go, oh, wow, that's an interesting question. That is.
Yeah. I have the good questions.
That sound.
I have the good questions. I'm like Arby's. I have the good questions and the meats. No?
I think.
Come on, pull that card up. I want to see it.
Pulling it up.
Let's go. Pull already.
10-10.
Look at that. On card.
I love the SGC look with some of these old school cards.
This is a pretty cool card that people don't even know is out there. Are they in their college uniforms? Ultimate Collection on-card auto of Jordan and Bird. This is one of those things that, I think it's a 1 of 1 in a SGC 1010.
Yep.
On card of 2 of the top 10 players of all time. Just one of those sneaky cards that just, not a lot of people are logging into this week's auction looking for this particular card. But it checks so many boxes. Looks really cool. It's
Give me a price target on this. Like if you were bidding, where would you pull the trigger and where would you kind of ease off?
I mean, I think another 10 to 20% higher from where it is right now is reasonable. 100%. Jordan, because he has the upper deck, right? They don't have a ton of Jordan cards. There's not no Panini stuff. And unfortunately, the more recent stuff where they're able to do things like this, they have the college unis, which doesn't appeal to a lot of people. I mean, if you're a North Carolina fan, okay, if you're a Jordan guy, you don't mind that. So that will probably keep this price, reasonable.
5, 6.
I think that's fair. But again, on card, out of 25, Jordan Bird. Bird may sign a lot of stickers and whatnot, but he's probably not signing too many dual autos out of 25 with Michael Jordan that are already graded 10 auto. It's pretty nice.
Do you think there's going to be a lot of movement in cards the next month and a half as people kind of redistribute their portfolios, get out of some cards they don't want for national, get into some stuff that they want to bring to national?
I think you're going to see football prices go up. I think you're going to see a lot of this Prism stuff. I think you see a lot of that. People are going to be starting to move into football. I think the national is going to be a lot about quarterbacks. I think your Jalen Hurts might be a little sneaky play. I think people are going to be loading up on QBs to sell at national. Yep. That's what I think. I think people are going to be, QB like crazy. Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, who I wouldn't buy, but.
So then if you're going in, would you buy QBs at national?
I would have QBs now
Ready
to
sell.
trade at National for basketball. That's what I'd be looking to do. If you're a LaMelo believer, an Edwards believer, and you can pick up some Mac Jones now, you can pick up some Trevor Lawrence now, some, Burrow, Herbert, you name it, and then at National, trade the dealers, trade people who are looking to get those quarterbacks for the season for Edwards, LaMelo, or whoever your rookie was from this year that nobody's looking at, Cade, or, Scotty Barnes, if you're a Barnes guy, Herb Jones, whoever you. That's what I would be doing at National. I'd be moving to football. The dealers might actually might actually trade you from their basketball stock because I have a feeling they're going to be looking to sell their football. So that's my thought on National. Football gets hot, National Treasures, boxes, if you could find a steal on one now while everybody's looking at Prism. By National, people are going to be trying to look for those National Treasures football boxes again. So it's one of those kind of things.
$100K for a one-of-one Mac Jones.
Yes, 100%. I saw that. I saw it was like a Yeti deal in like a trunk. Like somebody with the, a little Rolex Yeti full of cash, and let's go. Listen, we've all been there. I've met somebody in a parking lot and sold the card, not for $100,000, but for 15 in cash. Hey, handshake deal. Let's go. Stop and shop.
But you're right though. Boston has a lot of money right now. Like Boston collectors, that seems like a deal. But like, imagine that guy bought 20 or 30 Brady cards, and
or he bought some Tatum National Treasures 2 years ago and just sold one of them. You know what I mean? So, look, Tatum. Somebody, what was it, Chris Hodge? I mean, somebody had a cool post in their story that said, like, this is the dude who has the entire ultra-modern basketball market on his back right now.
Who's that?
Tatum. Because Tatum's like this. Tatum's chart is like this. That National Treasures.
But that was John like 2 weeks ago. And it was
it's not now.
But it was like Luka a month ago.
Dude, yes, that's very, very true. It's very, very true. Job's not finished. But if it does get finished, I guess the point I'm trying to make is the same as yours. If you're invested in Boston stuff, you're probably doing all right. And this is another Boston guy, Mac Jones. And $100,000. That whoever bought that can now walk around the National and say, I got it. I'm the one with the one-on-one. Maybe get it graded or whatever the story is. Where $100,000, what does it get you? One of the 99 Burrows or Herberts RPAs. Now you got a one-of-one Mac Jones. See what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. I'm learning this game.
It's a flex. It's a $100,000 flex. What else are you seeing this week in the auction? You see anything fun? I thought there's a really cool. If you're into the low pop and you're a Barry Bonds collector, this is the kind of card. It's an O-Pee-Chee. That's the Canadian version of Topps. I'm seeing a lot of those sell. Normally, I would tell you like O-Pee-Chee only sells better for like Wayne Gretzky or hockey players. But there's the Bonds O-Pee-Chee. If you look at the pops on these things, especially in BGS 10s, they're so low, and there are a lot of Bonds collectors out there. So I don't know if you see it. Can you see the Bonds?
Bonds OP. Give me a sec.
I think it's 87. You can also just type Bonds 1987 and see what pops up. I can't see the screen, but I can help you.
Bonds P. 1987.
P.
Well, I could have just typed in an O.
So now sort by most expensive.
Oh, we're going that route. Okay, big guy.
Well, this is when you're low pop here, and it's Barry Bonds. People come out of the woodwork for Barry Bonds.
Oh,
see what I mean?
PSA
not a lot of. Yeah, PSA 10. Not a lot of these, man. Look at that. That's already at $3,300. That's the 87
little guy.
It's a cool card.
Big old Bonds then.
Well, he was a rookie there, and on the Pirates, right? Not the Giants. I mean, that's who he played with the Pirates. It was Bonds and Bonilla, the Bonds and Bonilla show. Barry has an 86 Topps traded. This 87 O-Pee-Chee is just real low pop. So people look for those cards, and the Bonds super collectors, they pay on those. So just another one to look at.
Gretzky. I think we don't talk about Gretzky enough, and I know hockey doesn't get enough of a market, but I'm curious. Like, this was a card I was looking at, right? 6.5, but it got an exceptional kind of stamp to it.
Yeah, it's gorgeous eye appeal.
Nice eye appeal, and if there's like, I know McDavid is incredible, but I think far and away no one even comes close to Gretzky.
Right, he's a clear-cut GOAT. Clear-cut GOAT. Not too many of them, in the hobby. Brady.
I guess there's just not as many collector bases for him either, though. That might be the issue, is what I kind of hear you saying.
Yeah, I mean, I love Gretzky. I think he was great, but I'm not a huge hockey guy. So it's not one of the, when it was like, oh, go get a Jordan, go get a Montana, go get, Gretzky always kind of fell by the wayside to those other, go get yourself a nice Griffey Jr., buy a Babe Ruth. Gretzky was always one of those, like, you could always get that down the road, you always get that another time, Cage. It's just, that was kind of the way that I looked at it. All right, so we got a bunch of PWCC stuff, guys. Cool cards. Take a look. Just in case this is your first time listening to our PWCC, 2 cool features on there. The Power Buyer feature, if you go into the sort function and you click Power Buyer, there are items that PWCC just automatically sorts for you. They're cards that are currently bid significantly lower than what their appraisal value is. So basically bargains, and if you click on it, you'll see, high dollar, low dollar, ultra modern, all the way to vintage. They got some cool stuff. Also, flash auctions. If you click on the top of the little lightning flash, these are things that have been put into this week's auction as late as Wednesday at midnight. So they might not have had the eyeballs on them. They don't get the same kind of treatment ahead of time. So they may not be getting the love that they deserve. It's a cool bargain strategy where you guys can take a look at these ones, and people came, put them in late for liquidity is what that flash is. So as Andrew talked about in the beginning, people are trying to get some liquidity by selling their cards. You might be able to find, a card or 10 that are selling for significantly lower than where they were, or where they should be.
Something that's fun with the Power Buyer is you could also get a little bit of a pulse on the market. So what I like to do is search a name, see how many results of that person there are, meaning how many cards are in the auction, and then do the Power Buyer.
Yeah, that's what we did with Kobe.
See that ratio, and then do another player. So, like, I imagine Tatum would have less Power Buyer because he's a little bit hotter, so people are bidding him up. Then, who do we?
By the way, let's do that. Let's give an example. Do a Kobe again, because I already showed the one Kobe on Jersey Auto, but there are some really nice Kobe chronology ones, like high-end autos, but also some other ones. Take a look at some of the Kobe autos. Have you ever seen that Kobe chronology auto set that from, I think it was 2007? Look, it's the first 2 cards.
I know. Pump your brakes. So there's 188 Kobe cards in the next 2 auctions. Yes. Okay. And then we hit Power Buyer. I know, slow.
Look,
you like the card.
I mean, that one and the one after it. Look at how nice those cards are. These remind me of the 1 of 1. Those like timeless shot kind of deals, 1 and 1. Like it seems to me like these are probably the precursor for that, and maybe even the Muse. Maybe they took your cue from these. Look at those cards.
It's a gorgeous card. I mean, that's as beautiful as a card as it gets.
Yep. So cool Kobe's, and then you can go and sort lowest price and take a look at some of the Kobe's instead of highest price. These are Power Buyer low, which is going to give you bargains that are bargains. It's a double bargain. This is Andrew's world right here, folks. Look at this.
We go from Cage's world to Andrew's world, the 1997 collector.
If you want to, just sort this by this week's auctions so that you see only the ones that are ending tomorrow or today if they're doing it. But look how easy this is, guys. If you haven't, take a look on YouTube. It's just a click. It's a nice, easy sort. Andrew's going through them. And now these are cards that are ending tomorrow.
You see that I have them hearted?
You already have them stars because these are the ones you're going to be. Look at you. Look at that red, white, and blue. Holding the trophy. Kobe wearing his weird pool goggles. Rookie. No?
He's ready to save a butterfly.
That's it. Whoever you are a fan of, you can do the exact same thing. And there are how many dozens of cards of Kobe under $100 here? The Power Buyers are 2012 Prisms. Look at those. I love 2012 Prism. That's my jam.
No, I know.
Kobe holding Kobe rookies.
This is a nice one. Like, this is a rookie or ultra gold medallion. I'm curious. $84. I'm curious where that ends. This is another one I'm looking for, the comic. Kobe
Nice.
PSA 10.
There's a shiny one over there to the far right. Yeah, shiny. You that's right up your alley.
All
Shiny.
Flair. Flair is always shiny, bro.
Ultra. Look at you, man. You know, I see that's got a Mike Baker gold label on it. We got the one where the Topps one where LeBron's on the same card. Look at these bargains. Andrew's gonna go broke. Broke.
Why would you wish that upon me?
I'm not wishing. I just know what's gonna happen. Look at all those Kobe's. I see a lot of stars.
Not if I move them.
Well, that's true. By the way, why don't you talk about that for a second? There's potentially plays here, guys. You can be buying like Anthony Davis play. Andrew gave you that one. Who's a guy who you think might show up next year, going to take a step forward next year? Maybe Jaren Jackson Jr. if that's your guy. You think the Grizzlies
another guy that no hobby love right now.
So maybe Jaren Jackson Jr. is a guy you could pick up some cards from him at basically
Silver PSA 9 is $19.
$19. Silver PSA rookie, right? I mean, no one's looking at those. That's the time to pounce, stash him for a couple of months, and then when the Grizzlies jump out and he comes back and he's shooting 50% from three, it's a guy you could probably sell for more than what he's selling for now when no one's looking for it. And I just use him as an example. Who's your guy? Is it Tyler Hero? Is Tyler Hero going to get the start next year?
No, dude, I got to tell you, man, Hero's such a piece of.
You've soured on Tyler Hero. You were the original Tyler Hero fan. You were the original Tyler Hero fanboy, and now he's done. I'm listening.
2 years and one mouth for a reason.
I'm listening. Yeah.
So after the season, if you guys saw, he came out with like a quote.
He's like, two of these too.
I think I've proved that I deserve to start.
Yes.
Yet last year you started and you sucked. So you're actually better when you don't start.
Are you being fair? I mean, they made him play point guard, right?
Cage wants to go for a walk.
Right? They made him play point guard.
Right, but he came out at the end of the season with another stupid quote saying he thinks he deserves to start.
I saw that. But they started him last year in a position that wasn't his.
What position? What would you play him in? A shooting guard?
Yeah, shooting guard, yeah. I personally, I wouldn't play him in the starting lineup at all. I would leave him at 6. But
so I didn't like that comment, and I do not think Hero's a good investment.
By the way, I'm going to give you credit for that. Because that was your guy, and you're realizing now that things happen out there, right? Things happen that change your view on somebody.
I don't have guys, first off.
Come on. Yes, you do. LeBron's your guy.
I see opportunities in the market, and I say, hey, Hero is going to come into his own in this bubble Hero. And that happened. I have no sentimental affection towards
Tyler. All right, last one. What do you think about Chris Paul?
The real Chris Paul.
We switched roles on this episode. I love it.
I actually joined Little Pole Man's break, and I got a Chris Paul auto on OKC. No, it's like a $4 card, and it was like $150 buy-in.
And you got OKC? You didn't even get Luka's Dort?
No, there was nothing good. It was the worst box ever. I got the first pick. It was a Dominator's Chris Paul. What do I think of Chris Paul? I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see what the summer brings.
And that's why we keep him around, folks, for the hard-hitting analysis.
Well, it really depends what the summer brings. I want to know more on what happened with Ayton. Why does he shy away? What happened with Booker? Why does he shy away? Because there is turmoil between Ayton and the team. There is questions of Booker. Why does he not put up more shots? I don't know. I think we'll get more answers in the summer after the finals.
So, you guys, if you have an answer for why did Booker shy away vlogs, you let us know, because I have no clue. No? Too much? We love you guys. Enjoy the PWCC auction as much as Andrew does, and you will have yourself a great weekend.
You're a moron.